out there.
It's time to shake the table. We shaking the table. All right, welcome. There it goes again. All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Shaking the Table. We're gonna dive head first into some of the most controversial, somewhat controversial, because too much controversy kind of messes people up. But anyway, we're gonna talk about some thought-provoking topics in the pet industry each week. And in this segment, we want to stir the pot. We want to challenge the status quo. We want to bring you bold, unfiltered conversation that'll make you kind of rethink everything you know about the world of pets. Because I mean, living in the pet industry, things change all the time, people. So from debates on pet grooming practices to the ethics of breeding, things in between. We're not afraid to tackle some of the tough questions and topics. And we want to give a voice to all sides of the discussion. So grab your seat, hold on tight, because we're about to shake things up, folks. I'm your host, Wayne.
And I'm Salisa.
And this is Shaking the Tape. All right. Anyway, good morning, Talisa. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I've been up for a long time. I've been
You
up for
and me.
a long time.
Look, you and me both. All right. These 5 a.m. workouts are no joke.
The-
Um, but it takes a real person to wake up at 4:30 in the morning and be in the gym by 5. So cheers to all the future success that is coming our way, because that is what 5 a.m.ers do. So what mats your fur?
I want to talk about what's been going on in the grooming community over the last week. Things have kind of settled down because all of the story has come out. But I
Mhm.
want to talk about the groomer who got sued about the shave down.
Gotcha.
Um,
So what
so
demats your fur?
right. Right. So I mean, initially it was, the groomer got sued because the dog got shaved down and the owner didn't like the shave down. Then it came out after the proceedings that the groomer lost the case, but that there were communication issues. The dog was injured during the groom, which is a high liability with matted dogs. It's
Mhm.
unfortunately part of the job. And
Sure.
then when the pet owner tried to communicate with the groomer salon was like, I can't help you. Stop calling me. So they went to court. The groomer salon lost the case.
Hmm.
They ended up having to pay out north of $300.
Hmm.
And here we are. Here we are.
Hmm.
The groomer community was in an uproar because they were like, oh, make sure your paperwork is this, and this. Make sure you get a lawyer to help you with your paperwork. But I feel like, honestly, like if the grooming salon had just had better communication skills, none
Hmm.
of this would be a problem.
For sure. For
So tell
sure.
me what you think.
Honestly, I feel like it's both parties' faults. Not only do I feel like it's both parties' faults, but it's also the faults of all those who had an opinion without gathering all of the facts first, too.
For sure.
Because a lot of groomers, especially in this industry, everybody is well opinionated over the internet, but not helpful when it comes to the resources that people need in order to be successful in their businesses, right? So to me, like you said, there was a lack of communication on the groomer's end and the grooming salon end to say, hey, your doodle and the doodle at the time, because we all heard doodle, your doodle at this time is extremely matted. We're going to do a comb test. I'm also, and these are practices that we do because we want to be forthcoming with communication, right? But these are all the things that wasn't done, or at least said wasn't done. So doing a comb test, communicating with the client, saying, hey, your dog is matted. We're going to have to shave down. And then three, here, not only was there any word of a service agreement, but there wasn't prior communication. Like what we do is like, yeah, we have a signed service agreement, but we're also going to call or send you a message saying, you know, XYZ, this is what we have to do. These are the risks of having to shave down. Do you agree before we proceed? And at that point, you have to say, I agree, or you have to say yes to the message. And it sounds like none of that was done, which is why we're here, right? People don't realize that, and this is on the pet parent side, people don't realize, like you said, that shaving a dog down comes with irritation. You're exposing the skin, so there's gonna be irritation. There's gonna be things that you didn't see because the dog is matted. And that is a form of neglect to leave your dog being matted for so long to the point where they have to be shaved down. So on the pet parent
Let
side,
me let me
there
let me
was
stop
neglect.
you. Let me stop
No,
you
go
for a
ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, because
second. Okay, so
hey, this
so
is
here's the thing about that. Um, a four was used. So was it really that bad? If you could get a four in the coat, is it that bad? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like because on a puppy first
So some
groom,
people
if
said
a
a
dog
10.
is if people um if how do I put this? On a puppy's first groom for me, if it comes in matted, I'm probably gonna go straight in with like a 7 or 5. Because I don't want to traumatize the dog by pulling at his coat at all.
Gotcha.
Because
Mhm.
we're talking about first grooms here. And to me, a cavapoo, anything a poo is a doodle. It's just
Yeah.
a mini. It's just a mini, but it's a doodle.
Yeah, right. But still got doodle in it.
Um, so for me, like I definitely would have went shorter than the blade that was allegedly used. I'm gonna say
Mhm.
allegedly because I didn't look at the actual documents out of court.
Right. And
Um,
was there any pictures or anything?
no, I never saw any pictures anywhere about
And
anything.
that's another issue. Where's the pictures at? Where's the proof? Where's the picture? Where's the before picture? Where's the during picture? Where's the after picture? All of this makes sense, which probably could have helped in the court case too, because this is how the dog came in. This is how the dog looked when you separated the fur because you couldn't see the skin or whatever. And this is how the dog looked after. And another thing, why aren't you using, were you using the proper shampoo and conditioner to help alleviate any type of irritation? What were you? Because if I'm gonna shave a dog down, not only are they gonna get express service, but they're also gonna use a oatmeal or a
To reduce
some type of
inflammation,
shampoo. Hmm?
to reduce inflammation in the skin.
Yeah, to reduce inflammation, reduce any type of irritation, like, you know, non-itchy type of conditioner, whatever the case may be, to hydrate the skin, because it is irritating to have to shave down that low. So, on again, it's both parties' faults.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's both parties'
It
faults.
started with the pet
And
parents and then it turned into a shit show because the grooming salon didn't handle their business professionally. Absolutely.
right. And then to for the pet parent allegedly to call and try to reach out to y'all to say, hey, this is what's going on. You know, will you reimburse me at any point in time? Like for them not to answer, then that definitely opens you up for litigation. Like that opens you up for any type. So pet parents, one thing that people have to understand is like yeah, people take their dogs and stuff serious. Of course, you know, they're going to bring
To a
their dog
degree.
to a
Let's
groom.
be true.
Yeah,
To
to
a
a
degree.
degree. They're going to take their dog serious because it's their children, right? But if you are forthcoming of the information and say, hey, these are the things that you have to expect moving forward, then at some point in time, they're going to be more understanding of the situation. And it sounds like, of course, lack of communication, lack of understanding, lack of expectations being set, and now everybody's in an uproar. So, and what's crazy is that pet parents, they feel like it's okay to just sue, excuse me, to sue people and be sue happy, and they wonder why the
Exactly.
vet industry is so like up in arms about not wanting to deal with people anymore.
But that's culture as Americans.
Yeah.
You don't do right by me, I'm just gonna sue you. You don't give me what I
But
want, I'm just gonna sue you to get what I want.
I'm gonna sue you. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna blast your information all over the social media. I'm gonna leave a bad review on Google, on Facebook, on Yelp, on TikTok, on Instagram. Like I'm going to tell the world how bad of a job you did, but I'm not going to take any accountability for my part
Mhm.
because I brought the matted dog. I didn't brush or comb this dog for weeks, months at a time. I didn't budget correctly to maintain my dog. Wasn't knowledgeable enough to understand the type of fur or dog or breed that I'm dealing with and its requirements to maintain its coat. So, because I'm not taking accountability for that, and now my dog has to go to the vet, now I'm going to sue you because I'm not taking accountability. So my story, I got sued before, and
I
I'm
ain't got
not
enough tea
proud
in my
of it.
cup. I ain't got enough tea.
I'm not proud of it, but I'm also not like it was a learning opportunity, you know.
Was
So
it because
without
of negligence on Happy Heart's part?
no, not
Okay.
at all. And mind you, that's that's the word that can make it either go either way, right? Negligence. So whether the pet parent is negligent or the pet professional is negligent.
Hmm.
So without getting into too many details, so what happened was the dog came in. First of all, the dog had anxiety because it's never been groomed in a very long time. They also shot pop. And what happened was the dog came in. We already had a difficult time bathing and blow drying the dog. And then when she got on the table, she didn't want to sit still. Everything was done, but we got it done. Like biting, not acting right, all of that. We got it done. Then the pet parent comes in and she's like, "Can you cut lower on the ears?" Now, mind you, the groom is already done. The dog is walking around. We don't want to put them up in a cage if we don't have to. So we let them free roam and, just get that anxiety out and just kind of just chill and calm down after the groom. So she comes in and she's like, "Can you cut lower on the ears?" So I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. It is what it is. Let's do that." So while the dog is back on the table, she is standing in the lobby area because she can see, like, pet parents can see the grooming tables from where they're standing.
So she
She's
watching her
calling
dog
the
cut up on your table?
Yeah. But she's calling the dog now. She's like, "Hey, like it's gonna be okay. Sit still. Da 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 da." Mind you, the dog has anxiety, so the dog wants to go home. The dog sees its pet parent. The dog is like, "Hey, I don't want to be on this table anymore. I don't want to be in these nice people establishment anymore. Like, I want to go home. Like, why am I back on this table?" So I'm cleaning up the ears. And then as soon as I go to cut the ear, like cut the hair on the ear to shape it better, she turns her head and licks her lips. So at that point in time, the tip of my shears hits her tongue. So now the tongue is
Now it's
bleeding.
a whole crime scene in the shop.
Now, right. Now it's we're up in arms. At this point, we, explain to the pet parent what happened. We stop the bleeding. We assure like everything is going to be okay. We tell her, go to the vet if you feel like you're comfortable. That's what you want to do. Like we're not going to say not go, but it was one of those things where it was like, hey, it's going to be
Once the
okay.
bleeding stops, tongues are over with. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then at that point, like it's going to heal. So it wasn't like the tongue is like dangling off or anything like that. Like it's
Okay.
gonna heal. It was literally just the tip, and that was it. Like it just started bleeding. And we already know ears, toe pads, tongues, they're gonna keep bleeding because
Mhm.
now this highly anxious dog and their blood pressure is up, pet parent is there, and she's at this point irate because she doesn't want to listen and is like, "I want my money back. Y'all ruined my day. I can't go back to work, XYZ." All in all, she ends up proceeding this to court because we're like, "All right, if you go to the vet, we're willing to give you some money, to go towards the vet bill and everything like that. We already refunded you, your appointment and all of that stuff. Like, what more do you want?" And she's like, "Well, I couldn't go to work. I couldn't do this." The dog had a photo shoot. The dog was in pain. She couldn't eat. All of this stuff. We was like, all right, at this point, what more do you want to do? So she proceeds to sue us, and I had to come out of pocket to pay her, basically. And it was just a matter of it wasn't negligent on our part for the issue, but it was just like, hey, you see your dog on the table and I'm around its face with sharp tools. You not call your dog so that your dog looks at you while I'm trying to do this. And she's just like, well, you were negligent because you didn't restrain her properly and you don't know what you're doing and you're the professional and all of this stuff. So all in all, we got it situated before we had to even go to the judge. Like we did a mediator. I was like, here's some money. Let's call it a case. Just don't come back. XYZ, right? But it was just the fact of the matter of not taking accountability for your actions because none of this would have been done or none of this would have happened had you not been super picky about the haircut. Because I did exactly what you told me to do. But when you got the dog back, then you was like, well, I want it lower or I want this. At that point, yeah, we learned like, hey, go back outside,
Mhm.
hey, give us 10 more minutes or whatever the case may be. The transaction service was already done. But if this is what you want, then we'll move forward. We'll do it. We'll fix it for you. But it was a learning opportunity, but it was still like, why did we even have to go this far for it, right? But all in all, to say is like pet parents need to take accountability for their actions when it comes to certain things. But suing somebody over shaving your dog down is crazy,
Yeah.
is absolutely crazy. But
If that
now,
had just been the case, like I don't like my dog's haircut, Sue. I would understand the uproar in the community. Um, but considering the dog did sustain a couple injuries and the grooming salon just didn't handle it, they just
Mhm.
didn't handle
No, they
it.
didn't handle it. And I get it because like if the skin
I
was
didn't handle
irritated
it
and it was
correctly, but
low
just didn't handle it.
at all, at all. Like y'all didn't give it any soothing shampoo. You didn't give it any Benadryl for the irritation. And granted, it might have been around like uh highly like matted areas, then understandably there's going to be some irritation there. But that expectation should have been told ahead of time, saying, hey, this is what it's probably going to look like. This is what's going to happen. This is what you can do at home. Put a warm or a cold compress on it, or give it some Benadryl, or go see your vet. Put some Neosporin on it. Something can be done to help medi- uh, mitigate or mediate this situation, right? But it was just a lack of communication on both ends to say, hey, expectations just weren't met or set during the whole situation.
Yeah, because the second I get to the point where I'm deciding to shave down this dog, I'm sending pictures. This is what Fluffy look like. This is what's about to happen. Do I ask permission? No, because your dog is in my trailer. Your dog is mine now.
Yeah,
I'm doing what I think is best at this point. So no,
yeah.
I'm not
I'm a
asking your
professional.
permission, but I'm letting you know this is what's about to happen. I'm gonna
Yeah.
leave it as long as I possibly can without stressing your dog out. But and I also think like another thing like that could have been the issue is a lot of us forget that male dogs still have their jangly things.
Mhm.
Like like
They
cause
do,
it's been many
and
a
it gets in the
times
way.
where like I'll be doing a sanitary cut and I'll be like, oh, you still got your balls. Let me be careful.
What are these things back here? Yeah,
Why do you
and
still have these?
and it's so easy. It's so easy for the skin. Trust me. I mean, trust me. It's so easy for the skin to get stuck in the clippers. It's not fun. That's not fun at all. Okay, but in the case of a dog, they can't say, "Hey, calm down now, down there." But it's like, yo, that hurt.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be moving around, they're gonna be, trying to bite, they're gonna be acting out and stuff like that. But you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. And Yeah, it and this whole, like, this is why we hate doodles, and this is why we hate poodles, and this is why we hate these type of dogs, like, this whole community thing, and it's like, I mean, granted, we can explain maintenance till we blue in the face, you
I
know?
don't even bother no more. Just call me when
At
you're ready for your next appointment.
at this point, because we're tired of it. You know,
I
we're
don't even
tired of
try no
having
more.
to explain how to properly care for your dog, and we go above and beyond. Like, we make, hybrid concoctions basically for your dog to make sure that they get what they need, because it's like, this is what we do, and we're the professional here. Now, granted, that grooming salon needs to work on their communication skills, and hopefully they took this as a learning opportunity. But and I hope all of the groomers kind of took this as a learning opportunity. Like, you are not above the law
Mm.
as long as you're protected. So having service agreements, having client, like, do not get verbal approval to do anything. Get written approval to do everything. Like, because verbal is not going to hold up in law, in court. But you have it written down that the client said, yeah, go ahead and shave down, and I assume the risks of the shave down, then cool. But if something is nicked, or the dog has to go to the vet, or the dog has to be seen, yeah, granted, it must be paid by the pet parent, but it is also your responsibility to say, hey, I can give you some money back for your groom, or I can give you some money towards the bill, or I can help you out
Yeah.
because I apologize for my mishap.
Yeah,
My
because
job is to
it's a
make
good
sure that it's a good
decorum.
experience. Hmm?
It's in good decorum to,
Yep.
help out, put in on, or, take care of it all together. And, so many people are like, well, some small businesses can't afford that. Why don't you have business insurance? Business insurance is not very expensive at all, depending on who you go with. So you really could have had business insurance and let them handle it, and that north of $300 wouldn't have even came out your pocket.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what that's
And then
that's what
and
I
that was good,
recommend to the
bro.
people.
And me in $350, that's good. Like that,
Yeah, that's light work in real life.
like, I mean,
For
granted,
a vet bill,
it's
that
for
is
right.
light work.
For the principalities of the matter, I understand. But at the same time, it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. And I think just the whole uproar about the whole thing is just the fact that they were sued,
Yeah,
because people feel like, why are you suing me when it's just a dog? But at the same time, they care about their dogs to the point where it's like, look, you mishandled the situation incorrectly, and now I got to take it up a notch. You know, again, I feel like if there was better communication, better expectation set, there was signed agreements, there was written approval, um, it would have came out a lot better, and it wouldn't even have made its way to court. You know,
absolutely.
but now we live and we learn, and now we here.
And hopefully everybody lives and everybody learns.
Hope so too. Let's see. You got anything else left on this beautiful topic here?
Customer service skills are a must when you work in customer service. Business insurance is a must when you own a business.
Facts.
And I mean, we could, like you said, we could talk to pet parents till we blue in the face about maintenance in their dogs, but they're not gonna do it. So end of discussion. They're
Now,
not
for
gonna do
for
it.
my but for my pet parents that actually do it, now we get some really good ones who comb and brush their dogs regularly, book regularly, use the tools and
But
sprays
we're
and
not
stuff
talking
and
about them.
detanglers. No, but we appreciate them. We
Yes, we do.
truly appreciate them. They make our jobs a lot easier. It's the people with the false expectations. Like, we had a client come in a few weeks ago, and her dog has not been groomed in 6 months, and her dog was extremely mad. So we set the expectation, hey, your dog is going to have to be shaved down. And of course, people don't want their dog shaved down. And she was like, leave as much as you can. And we couldn't. The dog was literally pelted from head to toe, head to tail. And we had to completely shave the dog down. But
So an eighth of an inch is as much as I could leave.
that's as much as I could leave, you know? And she was just so upset at that. But it was like, hey, take some accountability in your actions because had your dog been seen within the last 6 months, 4 months, this would not have been the outcome. Had you brushed and combed your dog at home, this would not have been the outcome. Had you reached out or did some research on how to get these mats and tangles out, this would not have been the outcome. But do not be mad at us for us doing the best that we can do. And granted, who are we to know that the dog on that table with the court case wasn't a total nutcase, too? Detangling and dematting does cause discomfort and it hurts. So if the dog is being shaved down, they're probably in pain. And at this point, like we have to get this hair off. And with them going through this traumatic experience, they're moving around, they're acting out and things like that. But as a professional, we're trying to do our best. So give us some grace. That all in all to say, give us some grace because we're doing our best for you. We're doing our best for the pet parents and we're doing our best for our businesses. And we have to have some type of level of understanding, but it pays literally to have expectations set ahead of time. Groomers just have to understand that because everybody, we get those groomers that are like, it's gonna be okay, but your dog was a great da da da. No, be truthful. Be completely honest.
Oh, I am.
Honesty, like if you are
Fluffy was a
completely
mess.
honest, huh?
Fluffy was a mess.
Right. I can't get that. I can't do that groom. Like saying I can't do that groom. Like you send me a picture and you're like, hey, can you do this for my dog? And your dog hasn't been matted or combed, or your dog is matted, hasn't been combed, hasn't been brushed, hasn't been taken care of. I cannot do that. But what I can do is say, hey, let's start over so that we can get to that place. And at that point, let's do it. So that was another episode of Shaking the Table. And we shook it enough. We gotta we shook Hopefully we shook it up. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share because I mean this is a conversation that a lot of us need to have. So go ahead and post your comments down below. Share it with somebody. We because a lot of this information needs to be talked about and it also needs to be shared so that we can get to a better place in the pet industry. So thank you for tuning into another episode of Shaking the Table with Wayne and Talisa. We will see you next week. Don't
Hey.
forget to uh shake the table and challenge the status quo. All right, y'all, we out.